Good evening, sir. Welcome. We can hear you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our creative series for this month. Welcome. It's good to have you here. My name is Ife Oluwa, and I'll be the anchor for today. I want us to pray before we start. Heavenly Father, I will thank you. I hope you can hear me, please. If you can't hear me, let me know. Can you hear me, please? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Okay, yes. You can. Okay. Thank you. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you. We give you the praise, we worship, and we adore you. Thank you for creative series, March edition. Thank you for bringing us together once again. Be exalted in Jesus' name. And Father, I'll commit today's series into your hands. Take control of everything. Will be done in Jesus' name. We pray we will not be hearing alone, but we are going to learn and we are going to act on what we learn tonight in the name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name, I've prayed. Amen. Okay, so if you are new here, please, we'd love you to introduce yourself. Like I said, my name is Ifeoluwa Akinlade. Okay, here we have our Oga Patapata, Mr. Alex. We have our guest speaker, Mr. Opeyemi. And okay, we have Benjamin. Then I don't know who is Galaxy Note 10 and Pay Exchange. You can introduce yourselves. Okay. Single left. Galaxy Note 10, please can you introduce yourself? Okay, can you hear me, please?
Hello, I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can.
Okay. Good evening to everybody. I'll be engaging the rest of my team because I run the real estate organization where I would like to engage more of my new members, to get equipped with the knowledge of real estate. I actually know Opeyemi, the founder of the platform, and I engaged him that I'll be needing to learn more about the real estate in Nigeria and also to engage my team members. So right now I'll just be forwarding the updates of the meeting to more of the members so that they can join. So thank you once more for the audience. I'm grateful.
Thank you. You're welcome. I didn't get the name. Please, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Samuel, by the way.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Then I think we have Swift Pay Exchange. Please, can you introduce yourself? Okay, so I think your network is it's not so good. Okay, so now welcome everybody once again. Now I'm going into the introduction of our this Mr. Premier. Okay, so the topic we'll be discussing tonight is building a career in real estate. And I believe we've seen the flyer and we know who our guest speaker is. Okay, so his name is Opeyemi Ogundipe. I hope you can hear me. His name is Opeyemi Ogundipe. I'm not sure it's here at the moment. So let me just read before I join. Okay. Okay, so meet our speaker. Opeyemi is a wealth strategist and HNI real estate broker. Okay, so sorry about that. Who is passionate about helping national wealth with stability. Is the founder of LandExpress. Is the founder of Land Property Management firm focused on guiding anyone to strategic properties in Africa and Dubai. Opeyemi is also a building protect solution that will help over 200,000 Africans tap into the reality of property ownership for wealth building. Opeyemi holds entrepreneurial certifications in real estate from Metropolitan School of Business in Sussex and BRG Academy. Entrepreneurial studies from AYE, Real Estate Fundamentals from ACE Academy, amongst a host of others. He's a final year student of computer science, digital marketing for businesses. Areas over 100 real estate enthusiasts and entrepreneurs looking to build their businesses, income, and property portfolio in Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, Ogun, and Port Harcourt. As an avid Christian and doubtless believer in God, he believes structures to live a truly holistic. I hope we heard that. That's a lot of students, but it didn't limit it. Something we should applaud him for. Can we clap for our happy lab by clapping for him? Certifications in different. I hope you can hear me. But people are leaving this call. People are joining. Welcome. You're welcome. Oh, sorry, I've been talking. Oh my God. I said we have two new members that just joined, Miriam Digita and Oluwatosin. Can you please unmute your mic and introduce yourselves while we wait for our speaker? Miriam Digita, Oluwatosin. Hope you can hear me.
Good evening, good evening. My name is Kazim Olamide, popularly known as Myriad. I'm a freelancer.
Okay, welcome, Mr. Opeyemi. Welcome back. I think you can come up now. So can you?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I think our speaker is back. So let me read his profile again. So after that, you can come up, sir. Mr. Okpe, you can come up, please, after reading your profile. So let me quickly read it again. I hope you can hear me. Let me read it again. And I want us to clap for him even as it comes up. Thank you. Okay, so okay, meet our speaker. Opeyemi is a wealth strategist and HNI real estate broker who is passionate about helping people use real estate as a is the founder of LandExpress and property management firm focused on guiding anyone to strategic properties in Africa and Dubai. Opeyemi is also building a prop tech solution that will help over 200,000 Africans tap into the reality of property ownership for wealth building. Opeyemi holds entrepreneurial certificates in Sussex and BRG Academy, entrepreneurial studies from AOIE, real estate fundamentals from ACE Academy, amongst a host of others. He is a final year student of computer science with economics, holding a certification with Google on digital marketing for businesses. Opeyemi has tutored over 100 real estate enthusiasts and entrepreneurs looking to build their businesses, income, and property portfolio in Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, Ogun, and Port Harcourt. As an avid Christian and doubtless believer in God, he believes in the incorporation of God to business and company structure to live a truly holistic and fulfilling lifestyle beyond health. So, with this, I want us with Clap Innovation to welcome him to the stage. There's no stage to our miss. You're welcome, Sam. Please, you can take over, Sam. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I did not get your name, host. Sorry, I was just joining.
Sorry, my name is Ife Olua.
Ife
I
Olua.
introduced myself. Welcome, Sam.
All right, pleased to be here. It's such an amazing opportunity to do this at this time, and I really want to appreciate the initiative for creative series from the Shorex team. You guys are doing amazingly well. I've been checking in for the last 2 months now, and it's amazing to see some of the diverse industries that this creative series has been covering over the last few months. However, I am here today to talk about real estate. And it's exciting because, that's what I do. So quickly, the topic we are going to be working with is building a career in real estate, seen through the lens of an investor and a professional, right? So today we are going to be seen through my lens as an investor, as a professional, as a real estate broker, enthusiast, and also a wealth strategist, using real estate as a vehicle, right? So there are two major ways with which people can come into the real estate industry, right? Number one is as an investor, and the second one is as a professional. That's as a professional. Yeah, just leave it. Let's just leave it at that for now. So, but before we begin, I'd like to talk about what real estate is. As we all know, real estate is anything that exists on a land. With the land itself, whatever exists on it is real estate, right? Any structure that exists on a piece of land, call the property a building construction, a bridge, whatever it is anything that exists on a land, right? Any construction that exists on a land. So working with that, we know that going the route of real estate, we know that real estate is something that is eternal, right? Real estate is something that is generational, right? From the land down to the structure on it. These are structures and buildings and parcels of land that have stood the test of time, longer than even we ourselves that are so-called inhabitants of the earth, right? So real estate is a generational system. If you compare it to other structures, other asset classes, you're looking at stuff like stocks and bond. The stocks of a company is only as existent as much as the company is in operation, right? But real estate can be out of operation and still maintain its existence for hundreds of years to come. You see a lot of dilapidated houses. They are no longer serving their primary function, which is for residential purposes or for commercial use, whatever it is. But you see that the property is still there. The piece of real estate is still there, standing the test of time, keeping its value. And as we all know, real estate is one asset class that doesn't fluctuate, doesn't reduce in value. No matter where the real estate exists, as long as people begin to find their way, as long as people begin to move in the direction of where your real estate is located, then it is bound to do what? To appreciate. Because as we know in economics, the law of demand says the higher the demand, right, for a commodity, the higher its price, right? So the lower the demand, the lower its price. But we all know that the population of the world keeps increasing, right? In the last few years, the world's population was hinged at about 6 billion people. Today, we are talking of over 8 billion people across the world right now. What does that tell you? That tells you that real estate would ever and continuously be in increasing demand, as it were, right? So you look at a whole lot of things. You hear stories of people saying they want to depopulate the world, right? Narcissists and people that think the world should be a particular number of people, right, that should exist in the world. Why are they doing all of this? They are doing all of this because they think the resources that are not on earth, even if it's a wrong move, would not be enough to cater for the population that there is to come. Now, this tells you something. It shows that the population of the world keeps increasing at an alarming rate. And this population will stay somewhere. One of the basic needs of humans, every human, right, is shelter. As much as food is important, shelter is also as important. You see a lot of these guys around the tarmac. You see a lot of these area boys, what do we call them now? These people that go about on the streets without shelter. They eat, yes. They somehow live. But one common problem with all of them is the problem of what? A place to stay, shelter. You see most of them under the bridge and all of that. Now, these are indices that show you that real estate is as important, right, as even humans on the earth, because real estate is a complementary system that has been put in place to see that we humans can live habitably on the surface of the earth. So that is just a brief introduction of what real estate is about, why it is important, and why at this time it is really pretty much important that everyone knows and at least try to build something, try to build a career. If you're not building a career, try to build a structure, try to own a piece of real estate or make wealth with it. Now, looking through the true lenses we talked about earlier, we talked about building a career in real estate as an investor. And when we mean as an investor, it would mean that you are taking real estate as an asset class to invest in for either residential purposes for you and other individuals, right? Or for commercial purposes for you and other individuals, or even for agricultural purposes. You would see that for people to eat, real estate is needed, right? So the future of food, the future of feeding, and the possibility of people eating and living okay, right, is also hinged on the bedrock of what? Of real estate. And this is why it's a pretty much important discourse. It's an asset class that has been has been minted before creation, right? It's an asset class that has been minted before we are here, according to the scriptures. It's an asset class that real estate is an asset class that has outlived even we humans, and they are not creating new ones, right? Anything anyone is doing is just sand filling or taking earth from another place to replace the water in another place. No one is capable of creating a new land. No one is capable of creating a new piece of land, or even if it's the tiniest square meter. No one on earth is capable. So that tells you that if you're looking at it like Bitcoin, let's say 20,000 Bitcoins were minted at creation. That's at the creation of Bitcoin. And we know that during Bitcoin's creation, there were people that mined Bitcoin at the time. Okay, let me use Pi, for example. We have a lot of us that are mining Pi on our mobile phones, right? We have a lot of us that are mining Pi. We've been given that opportunity by the developers to mine Pi so that someday we can sell these digital assets. So you are given the power to mine these assets, but it's not like that with real estate. It's also like that with food. You are given the power to create your food. God created the earth and put a lot of food in it, a lot of animals. But we as humans are also given the power to create what? To create more fruit for ourselves. So you can take the seed of one and plant in another place and create more of that agricultural produce. Same thing, you can take an animal, mate with another animal, create more of that animal. Same thing with humans. You can pick another human, right? Mate with that specific human and create more humans. But land is locked. No one is given the ability to create land anywhere. If you see someone sand filling is not creating land. Sand filling is taking land from somewhere, right? And taking it to another place. In any case, that land, that sand, or that whatever was not created, as it were. It was only taken from a place of excess to another place that is non-excess. And as we know, even every water body on earth has a bedrock of land. So the only thing that is even causing it to look like as if people are creating land is because of the impact of rain, right, is because of the impact of the water bodies on Earth. Because every water body also has an hand. It's not like the head that is just, just there. Just keep exploring into the space and all of that. There is a bed. There is the river bed. And that river bed is premised on a land. It's not so. Every water body doesn't just go through the earth. It's not a hole that goes through the earth and comes out on the other side of the earth. It is still premised on a land. So these are indices for us to see that land is one of the scarcest commodities, if not the scarcest commodity on earth. That is why it is pretty much important. And that is why land is the biggest asset class on the surface of the earth. That is why land is holding the 40% of the world's assets, right? 40% of the world's assets across the world on the surface of the earth is owned in land and real estate, right? From buildings to parcels of land to construction of bridges and all of that, all those things, commercial use, commercial real estate, residential real estate, agricultural real estate, 40% of the world's wealth is held in real estate. Now, let's look at how we can come in, right? We've talked about the importance of this asset class, how it is that, as a matter of fact, nobody can do without a piece of land. How it is that, as a matter of fact, no one can live the course of life without coming in contact with a piece of real estate or a piece of building, right? And that was why we said you can come in two basic ways to build a career in real estate. However, number one is coming in as an investor. The second aspect is coming in as a professional. Within the past 5 years, I've been able to build a solid portfolio, right, for myself, for my team, for my company in this industry. And the reason is not far-fetched. We decided to come in as a professional and then grew into becoming an investor. And I will explain individually how this can fit into your individual goals in life, tapping into this wealth system called real estate and making enormous wealth from it. Now, the first one, coming in as an investor. First, who is an investor? An investor in layman terms is someone who comes into an industry either through funding capacities, capital capacities, or value creation capacities in the bid to see that industry expand, grow, and change more lives beyond just their own lives, right? There are various reasons why people invest in properties. Some people invest in properties for personal use. That's for personal residential purposes. Stuffs like that, you call it. People investing in real estate for a home experience, right? A lot of our parents, a lot of people across the world just invest in real estate because they need somewhere to live. Now, that is an essential. However, there is an aspect of real estate that goes beyond just you. Because, as statistics say, less than 40% of Nigerians are landlords. Meaning that the remaining 60% of the population, they are not living in the air. They are living somewhere, right? But they are living there as what? As tenants, right? I'm taking Nigeria as a case study, right? So you can see that as an investor, it goes beyond just you getting real estate for yourself. You can get real estate to solve the problem of housing deficit in Nigeria. You can, and as we all know, when you solve problem, money follows problems. So when you provide a solution, the money that is attached to that solution is in turn in abundance for you. It comes your way because you are the provider, right, of the solution. You see a lot of people, a lot of case studies. Donald Trump, one fantastic and one fantastic option, one fantastic, how do I put it now? One fantastic case study of someone who built his wealth premised, right? A billionaire today in dollars. Someone who built his wealth premised on real estate. Donald Trump's father was a real estate developer, right, in Manhattan in the late 70s, in the late 60s, I think, thereabout. And then we saw that Donald Trump was, as much as he was privileged to go to the Wharton School, right? We saw that his father was well-to-do because of that aspect of development of real estate for other people, right? Trying to solve the problem of housing deficit in Manhattan at the time and taking it down to the ends of New York and other amazing places, right, in America. And real estate is a pole driver, a very, very significant pole driver, a very, very significant development driver, a very, very significant driver, rather, of development. The moment there is the road access, the moment there are people living there, the moment that there are bridges that are linking coastal cities together, bridges that are linking different islands together, you can see that as long as people live there, there is a possibility of life in that area, in that location. Why are people scared to go to Mars today? Why are people not beginning to say, let's take ourselves to Mars and go and live there? Because as far as we know, no one lives on Mars. Yes, proof of life, maybe plants. But as far as we know, humans are not resident there, or even if they are resident there, they are not as comfortable as we are on Earth today. So if you're coming in as an investor, it means that as you solve the problem of housing for people, it means you're investing in building an apartment that you know that you can only sleep in one room per night. It means as you're investing in houses across different geographical locations, across Africa, across Nigeria, across Europe, right? As you please, you can see that as you solve those problems, there is an abundance of wealth that comes your way. The world's richest men today own 40% of their wealth in real estate. A statistics was done for ultra HNIs. And when I mean ultra HNIs, these are people that are billionaires in dollars, right? We found out that ultra HNIs, when they make their money, they stock it in real estate to preserve what? Their wealth. And as they solve more problems of housing deficit, right, more money keeps coming. And because the demand is ever present, the world keeps increasing in population, there are more and more people that are willing to take on these houses, whether on rental system, whether on a mortgage system, whether on an Airbnb, on a short-let system, right? So it is important to see that as an investor, there are peculiarities that affect why you come in as an investor. You are coming in to solve a problem, and that is why the wealthiest people, the fastest way to build your wealth in real estate is through coming in as an investor. But mind you, it is not the easiest. The reason why it is not the easiest is because you need some solid capital upfront to pursue some of these real estate developments, right? You hear a lot of people say, I bought a land in so-so place for so-so price, and today it is 10 million naira, and that time I bought it at 100,000 naira. But if you really want to ask yourself, how many of them could afford 100,000 naira at that time? As far as we know, the naira to the dollar in valuation has increased from 1 naira to a dollar to about 1,500 naira now to a dollar. What has happened in the last 40 years? We have constantly devalued our naira to accommodate the dollar. And even the dollar itself, we've seen that the dollar itself has devaluated. The dollar itself, over the past 40 years, has also devaluated. right? And as you know, I hope we know that the dollar is not the strongest currency in the world. There are other currencies that the dollar is even selling at about $10 to that particular currency, right? So it's just that it is the most regulated, it is the most accepted, and it is the most widely recognized to do business across anywhere in the world. Because as we all know, the United States of America was once the world, was once the holder of the world's power, even if it's beginning to slip through their hands at this time. So you can see that there is no asset class that you actually invest in over time that would not devaluate. But one thing is sure with real estate never depreciates in value. Even if there is a disaster in that location, the moment a rebuild starts in that community, the prices does what again? Starts increasing. And that is why they used to say that hedging your money against inflation, the best route to go is the route of real estate. Because there is a constant increase, whether you farm on the land, whether you just buy it and keep it, whether you just buy it and, drop it somewhere, whether you just buy it and you just forget it, the land is working itself through appreciation. Now, there are two ways whereby, as an investor, you make money from real estate. Because the end goal of every problem-solving exercise, right, is that at the end of it, there is a form of well done, a form of an award, a form of profit gain, profit share that supports why you're taking this decision, right? That's why you will see that everybody is going into a business. Most people are going into a business not because they love the business, not because they love to wake up 4 a.m. and drive people to work, not because they like not because they like jumping buses and going to work and all of that, but because there is this, but because hello, but because there is a certain profit.
Good. You can continue,
but
sir.
Because there is a certain profit that is attached to it. Now, real estate investors make money in two basic ways. Number one is capital appreciation. Number two is rental income. Now, when you buy a land, what happens to that land when you don't do nothing on that land? The only thing that a land can generate, a land that doesn't have a structure on itself, is what? Capital appreciation. Capital appreciation meaning that whatever you invested into that land, whatever you invested in buying that land, over the period of the next couple of years would have increased, right? So take, for example, you bought a land in somewhere in Lagos for 2 million naira last year. You come back in the next 3 years, the land is already selling for 8 million naira. And these are possibilities that we have experienced in the industries. These are not fake stories, right? I'm sure we all live in a particular real estate somewhere, seated somewhere, listening, except for maybe those that are listening in the car or something. But you will see that property that you are seated right in right now, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, was not selling at the price that you would get them for at this time. Why? Because capital appreciation is something tangible on every piece of real estate across the surface of the world. We had a client sometime at LandExpress buy a land from us at 19 million naira per plot. And this is a location close to the proposed Lekki International Airport, right? That's beyond, close to Bejuleki, close to the Dangote refinery and all of that. Mind you, that same land was selling for about 5 million naira some 3 years ago. Our client bought it last year, right? Last year, was it mid last year, for 19 million naira per plot. A house is not built on it to 19 million naira. He invested 19 million naira in buying that property. Now, today, that same land is currently going for 40 million naira per plot. And mind you, the airport has not even started operation. They've not even built it. Only the Dangote refinery has started operation within the axis. And it has not even reached its full potential because there are still a lot of undeveloped places within that area. But what does that tell you? That tells you that as an investor, if you're coming into real estate, you need to have some form of a regime. You need to have some form of capital, solid capital background, right? That you can use to execute properties, that you can use to execute purchase of properties across different geographical locations in the locations that you're looking at to acquire properties. That's one on capital appreciation. Up till today, this our client has not done anything on his land. He has not even acquired the services of a bricklayer to build a corner piece. I mean, you can think of that. He has not done a fence. He has not laid one single block on that plot of land, and the property has done 2x, more than 2x, in the last 12 months. It's amazing because real estate is something that is, like I used to tell people, when you invest in real estate, you don't need to learn. Do you understand me? You don't need to learn how to trade it. You don't need to learn how to buy properties. All you just need to do is to bring in your capital. This is the position of about coming in as an investor, right? All you just need to bring in your capital and hedge your funds, hedge your wealth. Now that our client, maybe when he had that money now, that 19 million naira, his total net worth as at the time was about 50 million naira. Right? Now imagine his net worth now. This is how they calculate net worth. It's not like all these rich billionaires really have $200 billion in cash. No. A lot of that money is held in assets. And you see most of them, they don't hold majority of that asset in digital assets. They hold it in real world assets. Okay, I am worth $200 billion. I have real estate worth $100 billion. And then others are now spread in cash, in art, in luxury purchases, in what other things do ultra rich and spend their money again? Private equity, companies, and all of that. Stock market, shareholding capacities in various boards of companies across the world. Now, you look at those things, you see that those things are pretty much volatile. In just one night, Donald Trump increased his wealth from $2.7 billion to $7.3 billion. How was that possible? Because he launched his own social media platform, The Truth, which has been launched, I think, about a year now, while he was banned from every social media network at the time, when they were making cases against him for hate speech and all of that, and he was pushing out propaganda about COVID-19, and then they had to use the matrix, the government and everything had to take him down. So upon listing the shares of this company on NASDAQ, right, on the stock market, people bought into that shares, and the traction that was recorded increased his own wealth from $2 billion to $7 billion. How is that possible in just one night? Is that how they build wealth? You see that money that has been, that valuation is held in stock of a company. Now, what happens if that company is, what happens if that company folds up? Or what happens if that company runs into a debt? Imagine the people that invested in FTX at the time. That's this Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX. The crypto guys trying to rival Binance at the time. Right? And then look at the whole propaganda, look at the whole issues, the whole money laundering they use that system to do. The guy was worth about $4 billion, richer than Donald Trump, right? You say he was richer because he was into tech. Donald Trump was rich because he was into real estate. And overnight, we noticed after adequate investigations that this guy was just scamming people's money, and most of those assets were already lost in trade. We already lost, cleaned. It's the same way you take your money to a forex trader and say they should invest in a stock market for you, and they tell you they lost the money in trade. Was the money actually lost? Because the whole essence of the trade market is speculation, and money never gets lost in the trade market. It only moves from you to another person. That's what happens. So we've seen that these form of investments are not stable. They are pretty much volatile. Now imagine a Sam Bankman-Fried, who was a billionaire at the time, now owns nothing because FTX as a company has come down, has crashed. Right? This is possible because those assets were not real-world assets. They were digital assets, and as such, they existed on certain blockchains that could be shut down also. Existed on certain systems or certain company portfolios. Right? Even investing in money, money itself is only money when they are giving you to print. And you look at the money in circulation cannot, the notes in circulation, if you understand the gimmicks of money, you know that the notes in circulation cannot be as much as the money in circulation. Because at that point, the money loses its value. And that is why they were clamoring, the banks were clamoring for, what do they call this thing now that they were clamoring for at the time? This movement that started about 5 years ago. No cash policy or something. And everything was becoming numbers, computerized and digitized. So you see that the money itself that you think you own doesn't actually exist in one room of your house until you actually go to the bank and take it. And that money you are taking to somebody that brought. So it's just like everything is just changing hands. But it doesn't happen like that with real estate. Because even if you lost everything, your real world asset is still sitting somewhere. And as such, it belongs to you. Except there are now violations that the government have to, confiscate some of these properties. But the properties exist. You can trace them and say, yes, this is it. Right. So the second way investors make money is rental income. And how does this happen? This is pretty much simple. Rental income, the whole idea of rental income is putting up real estate, right? Real estate structure for people to use that structure and pay you money in return, pay you rental income in return, pay you short-let income in return, pay you commercial space income in return, pay you lease income in return, right? But what separates the person that is paying and the person that is receiving the payment is that one saw into the future that real estate is needed for everyone. And because as we speak, 40% of Nigeria, over 60% of Nigerians are tenants, you know that 60% population needs to live somewhere. So there is an already prepared market for whatever real estate that you're bringing in or that you're buying into. If you buy a property today and you put it on the market for rent, somebody will come and say, I want to live there. Right? So you see that rental income, short-let income, lease income, this is another way you make money from real estate. That is why you see ultra HNIs go to top locations like Ikoyi and set up a very tall commercial tower. If you go to the Trump Tower in New York, you see that the place is occupied by companies, top companies across the world using that commercial structure, that commercial property to work from there, right, as offices to meeting the needs of people in various industries and structures. If you come to places like Victoria Island, in Lekki Phase 1, in Ikoyi, and Maryland, in Ikeja, in Ibadan, some top places in Ibadan, in Abuja, right, you see some of these amazing commercial properties, right? Imagine a commercial property that the company is coming to rent, and they are paying as high as 30 million naira per year. And the developer will so much build it that the building itself will hold about 100 units of that, connected with lifts and all of that across the building. That's why you see a lot of shopping complexes, And one shop, they are paying 2 million naira per year. One shop, they are paying 10 million naira, 5 million naira per year. A colleague of mine who is a interior designer was making some designs for one of our clients at Lekki Phase 1. And when we were talking, and I was looking at the estimates of what would take this structure from this to what they wanted it to be, we're looking at nothing less than about 5-10 million naira to execute that project. This is just a one-room space. And this person was planning to use it as a commercial, like a shop, a boutique or something. Now, imagine the amount that would have been paid to rent that space from the people that build that commercial property in the first place. Same thing applies to an hotel. Same thing applies to building a filling station. Same thing applies to building a school. Same thing applies to building an hospital, right? So these are rental incomes that can come. These are income streams that can even replace, right, without doing anything. It was Pastor Olumide that said, illiterates are the landlords, tenants, literate are the tenants. You see a man of 80 years old, illiterate man, never went to school, owns about 6 properties across Lagos, and his landlord and the tenant will bring a car of 12 million, a working class tenant, and park it in front of the house and feel like he is the rich person. Who is actually the rich person? Using liabilities to front assets. And you look at it, some of those properties, however, they look dilapidated. Some of us might not even be able to live in those kind of properties, in those kind of conditions. But those properties have lasted tens and if not close to about 30, 40 years. Right? So you see that real estate allows every investor to earn in 2 basic ways: capital appreciation and number 2, rental income. But it comes at a cost because you need enough capital funds, right, to prosecute these investment opportunities if you're an investor, right? An investor is not somebody that lacks funds. And you're an investor for a reason. You invest, right? However, you know that real estate is a capital-intensive market. Real estate is not a market that you bring 50,000 naira and you say you want to begin to build. No. Real estate is a market that allows you, right, to will I say allow you now? It allows you to bring your money in your tens of millions before you even prosecute anything. However, there are various digital solutions right now that are in place that are allowing people to invest in top real estate across Africa with just about $150, right? So these are also ways you can come in as an investor. There are active roles. You can buy a land. There are a lot of places that people can position themselves. As an investor, you can buy a land. You might not have money to build, but you have money to buy a land, and you're looking to resell in the coming years. As an investor, you can co-own, you can crowdfund. You and your friends can come together and say, you know what, maybe we don't have the property at once. Like one of my friends is doing, is an investment advisor, right? What he is managing an investment club, an investment community where HNIs and people that have money and don't know what to do with it come together to use that money to acquire top properties. And the properties now begin to give them rental income and capital appreciation over time, thereby helping them to build their wealth. Not just building wealth in Bitcoin, not just building wealth with the stock market, that you can wake up tomorrow and every investor's funds will have been cleared due to inflation. It happened with Nestle this year. I think it also happened with MTN also. So these are peculiarities of things that would never happen in real estate, except that real estate is built on the wrong premise and it has to be demolished. This is the same reason why the government will build the road finish and put a toll gate. What's the whole idea? Rental income. As you are using the road, probably they borrow the money to build the road. Then after building the road, then you now start paying a toll fee for using the road. And then that toll fee is used to do what? To pay the people that borrow the money from. Now, The second way by which you come into the real estate industry is the easiest way there is. I like to call it the way of the 99%. Coming into real estate as an investor is the way of the 1%. You will not see a rich man that comes into real estate and is prosecuting developments in places like EVI and it doesn't have something before now, right? So one thing that everyone can do, even the rich, it accommodates the rich coming in as a professional. And when you're coming in as a professional, it means that you are coming in some certain capacity as a broker or as a realtor, as they are called in the United States and also some in Nigeria too. As a realtor, to sell properties for people that are investors and get certain commissions off of them. In the long run, you would see that these commissions are so enormous, right? Because real estate is capital intensive. The commissions that can be made off of this unit are also capital intensive. And at the end of the day, you can also begin to buy properties by yourself. I remember when I started my real estate journey in 2018, and I started selling real estate for a real estate company through a brokerage firm because I didn't know the terrain. So I didn't just want to go solo as an independent realtor. I decided to join a brokerage firm and I began to sell real estate. For about 3 years, I sold nothing. I was in school at the time. I think I was in my part 2 now? And I was still growing my network. I know real estate students really much couldn't buy at the time. Only now that a lot of students are now having enough purchasing power through increased income and people that are earning from abroad and all of that, right? Earning in dollars, and then a lot of businesses that are putting a lot of entrepreneurs on the map and helping them to do what? To earn money. So I remember when I started, and I didn't sell a dime. But I remember when this first sale came, I sold a property of about 1.7 million naira. And when the commission came in, it was worth about 300,000 naira. Right? That means I was earning, that was about 15 to 20% commission on that property. Right? So it made me realize that if I sold 3-4 plots, I myself could buy my own property just off of the commission. And what I had to do was to connect the buyer to the sellers. That's connect the people that want to invest, these investors that want to invest, the people that we talked about, the first set of people, to the people that wants to sell, an investor that has bought before the present investor that is seeking to buy. I hope you're following. If you're following, please just let me. I don't want it to seem like I've been speaking to nobody all along. So if you can hear me, please just send us a message. Send us a message. All right. Can see one person. All right. 2, 3. Can I have one more? Okay. Thank you. So coming in as a professional ensures that you build your wealth, your income, your purchasing power as a realtor off of what? Selling properties and earning commissions. And when I started, it got to a time that I was closing properties worth of 60 million naira. And it was much easy for me at the time to now begin to do what? To filter into the first set of people that I spoke about, the investors. I naturally became an investor because my earning power had increased through selling properties and and earning commissions. But this is how you can come into the real estate industry as a professional. But of course, everything that you are coming into the industry for, you need to know about it. You need to build your knowledge about it. You need to understand the nitty-gritty of selling properties, right? Of sales, of the comportment of sales, the etiquette, and how you can even help people to own properties in different aspects, in different locations that fits why they're investing in real estate. A lot of people invest in real estate because they just want to have more assets to preserve their wealth, because the money is losing value. Naira is losing value, devaluation here and there, inflation is eating into everything. So the only way you preserve your money is by investing it. And a lot of people have seen that investing in real world assets puts my mind at rest. I have peace of mind. I can see my property. I'm not just monitoring it over the phone somewhere like Bitcoin. I can see it. I can hold it. I can touch it. I know where it is. I can go there. But how many of us can go to where our Bitcoin are locked? I mean, that's on a light hand. But these are one of the reasons why people invest in real estate. It's also very much stable. If a property is increasing at a rate of 2% per annum, maybe those ones that you people go and buy in your villages, right? Those ones that they sell for 20,000 naira for 3 plots. They're selling 1 acre for 100,000 naira, 6 plots, right? Look at those ones. You know, it will take a long time, right, to appreciate into tangible money. It will take a long time. And because people are not necessarily going there, development has not reached there, it will take a while. Some of those properties will not even appreciate in your lifetime. Like, not like they're not going to appreciate, but they will not come. This real estate in this location is going to yield because of these strategic indices, because of the population in the city. That is why Lagos State is the most developed, as long as real estate sales, real estate prosecution, real estate buildings, right, and value are concerned. The reason is because the population in real estate outweighs the number of plots that the state can even accommodate. If all the whole of Lagos State is a plot of land, I know Lagos State will hear me. I think I lost the connection for a bit there.
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir. Can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. So to round up, as I was saying, I said Lagos State will still not be able to cater for 50% of the population. That means that if you can't expand horizontally on the floor, what happens? You go up. And that is why you see a lot of skyscrapers in top cities like New York and Dubai, because if you can't expand, if there's water here, because of the very small landmass Lagos has, there is only a fraction of land that you can sandfill. There's only a limit. There's always a limit to where you can expand to. So that's why you see them going up. If you can't go wide, you go what? You go up. And that's why there will be a lot of sharing of apartments, of units, of structures, buildings. I see a lot of people, they say, I want to be in my house. I just want to be in front of my house like this, stand alone. I love that. To come to a time in Lagos whereby everyone will be living in different apartments in the same building. You guys will just be using lifts to connect your rooms, your doors, your houses. These are things that they do abroad. It's not a new thing. It's just that our real estate market is just beginning to catch up with that reality. And I know that we'll get there. So coming in as a professional allows you to make money through real estate. Some of the incentives that are attached to it, a lot of fantastic brokerages were part of the largest real estate brokerage in Africa, the BRG, the Billionaire Realtors Group. My company, my team, LandExpress, operates directly under them. And some of the incentives that we've been able to get, apart from 15% commission on every property. So take, for example, when we sold a plot of 19 million naira, right? If you do the math, a plot of 19 million naira, and they did a documentation of about 4 million naira. So that's 15 million naira. 15 million naira times 15%. You see that's about 2.2 million naira. If I sell one or two of that more, I'll go to a very fantastic location in Ibejuleki, also in Ekpe, to buy amazing properties, right? So it helps you. And trust me, I wasn't the one paying the 19 million naira. I wasn't. All I had to do was just bring the person that could pay 19 million naira, coming in my own active capacity as a professional that knows the terrain, knows the structure, knows the property to profile. Once the client says, I have 10 million naira and I want to invest in real estate, I know the market so well. I know the locations that are looking promising in the next 5-10 years. I know the locations that within the next 2 years is going to be an earthquake. I know the locations that within the next 3-10 years is going to grow into places like Lekki, right? Or even better. So these are some of the indices that also help you when you're coming in as a professional. And coming in as a professional must be done in adequate capacity, because land is not a pure water market. Land is a capital intensive market. If a client is trusting you to help him secure a property of 19 million naira, then I'm sure you know you have to get it right. If not, someone that has money to buy land of 19 million naira, you know he can use 2 million naira to jail you. So you understand. So as much as the money is there and it's capital intensive, you know that you need to do your how do I put it? How do I call it now? You need to do your due diligence as a professional. You need to grow as a professional. You need to have a team. And that is why at LandExpress, we've been building our team for the past 5 years now. Yesterday, we had an amazing meeting and we pulled our stakeholders together. And everyone, we met at a top hotel in Lagos to talk about how we could further help the team, the people, the professionals under us as a company to grow individually, increase their earning power, and also offer valuable services as professionals to the investors that are going to be wanting to do business with them. And we will be guiding them through the market terrain. Since we know everything that works, we'll be guiding them through the pricing, we'll be guiding them through documentation and all of that. So doing real estate is a fantastic idea. You don't have to leave your job. I have a lot of people within my team that are still running their 9 to 5 and they are earning millions from real estate. They use their job as a means of networking to meet people that can actually buy real estate and they want to invest their money. And they just direct them and say, okay, because they're already professionals, they've taken our courses at LandExpress, they've attended our free boot camps, they know what real estate is all about. They receive free property insights and specific properties to sell from us on our closed group structures, right, that we have for them. And they are able to do what? To sell even with their 9 to 5. Inspections are really just about Saturdays and Sundays. So you still have your Monday to Friday to do whatever. I even have some of them that are not in Lagos. Some of them are in Abuja, in Port Harcourt. and they've earned millions, right, through this system. So this is another means whereby you can whereby you can come into the real estate industry, grow your portfolio through sales and networking, and eventually become an investor that now has 10 properties in the city of Lagos, that now has 20 properties across Abuja, that now has 50 properties across Nigeria. It starts somewhere, except you have your capital backing at the beginning, then you are good to go. So on this note, I'm going to end my session here. And it's been an amazing ride. It's been an amazing time talking to you guys about what's possible in real estate, how that coming as an investor requires you to do nothing other than bringing your capital and employing a realtor or a guide, right? So that can give you adequate advisory on properties to buy, or coming in as an investor, you actually being that guide, you actually being that realtor, learning the act of selling, right? And helping investors that can buy to buy, and then earn commission as high as 15% from sales of property. So imagine the 60 million naira worth of property I bought at the time, and we got about getting about 15% commission on that 60 million naira property. So you do the math, see what's obtainable through that property. And I wasn't the one dropping the 60 million naira, by the way. So thank you guys. And I really hope that I've done justice to explaining the business of real estate, how you can come into the industry, and how that it is possible to also start from scratch where you are, like I did in 2018. So thank you very much, and I'll be expecting questions, and if not, do have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. That was profound. That was, I learned a lot. Thank you so much. In fact, I wanted to ask a question, but you've already answered. I wanted to ask about price. Why is it that a land you've had maybe before, maybe it was 15,000 before, why is it that the price keeps going up, and you start hearing 500,000, 1 million, but you've answered the question. You said capital appreciation. Well, that's so profound. I really learned a lot. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Thank you for the knowledge. We say thank you. I don't know if you have questions. If anybody has question, please, you can ask your question before he leaves. Question, please. You can unmute your mic and ask your questions, or you drop it in the chat box.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Benjamin. Yeah, my question is, coming as a professional, what are the steps to be taken for you to come as a professional into the real estate industry?
All right. So thank you, Benjamin, for this question. I mean, it was pretty much important that someone asked, because I know that not a lot of people are capitally intensive enough. And when I mean capitally intensive, it doesn't mean that you don't have the money, but it means that you want to learn the business of real estate before actually committing your funds to it. You want to even know what it's about, right? So coming as a professional has been made really, really easy. For us at LandExpress, what we do is we hold quarterly boot camps for people, virtual boot camps, by the way, for people who are looking to sell properties, who are looking to build their wealth, who are looking to build their earning power, right, through real estate. And after that boot camp, we enroll them into our LandExpress associate community. What happens in the community is that suitable properties that clients will be interested in are sent to that group, and then you can just pick it and forward them to interested clients or to your social media net platforms, for people to see that you sell properties or you now are a consultant. But first, what we do is to train people to understand the business of real estate and what they're getting themselves into. But it's pretty much easy and it's simple because for now, we are still running free boot camps. For the year 2024, LandExpress has decided to run free boot camps on real estate trainings and even bringing people into becoming a professional for free, right? That one has always stood, right? So that one, it wasn't like they were paying or they're going to be paying in the next couple of years. But I mean, it's free. You just meet up with our head of communities at LandExpress, or you can reach out, I don't know, later, maybe to your host, and he will get back to me and we can work on how come in. But there is a registration to be done, and then there is a community to be a part of. There's a registration to be done, there is a boot camp to attend, and then there is a community to be a part of where you can now begin to sell adequate properties. Because it's not just selling properties. You see a lot of people, they've come to meet us and say, LandExpress, please sell this property for us. And so far, we could not verify what they are saying they want to sell. What if in the family of 4, the last one is the one that wants to sell the property, and the remaining 3 are not agree? They are not agreeing. You know, these are what causes property litigations, right? In courtrooms, and families kill themselves on properties. These are the reasons. So you want to make sure that whatever you are even selling out there, you know, a land is a sacred asset. This is something that was created by God, but not by any man. No man created land. We all met it here and go live it here. People create food. People create money. People create companies, right? People created Bitcoin. People created the stock market. People created pretty much everything. But God created land, and no man created land, just like I explained in the beginning. So you want to make sure that you are a part of a brokerage firm that checks the boxes on security on these properties, their documentation, their title, and see that the property is even free from every known litigation and government encumbrances, right? So I think that answers it.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the section. So it was really impactful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, John. We have another question here. How do we really join from scratch?
Okay, I think this is related to the question the first person asked. So joining from scratch means that you're coming in as a professional, right? It means that, just like I said, there is a boot camp to attend. There's a registration to be done. There is a boot camp to attend. And then there's a community to be a part of where you now can have access to selling properties. If you are starting from scratch, you're coming in as a broker. What's the work of a broker? A broker broke how do I say it now? A broker a broker sells on behalf of an investor. That's the easiest way I can explain it. A broker sells, an investor might not necessarily say, I want to sell my properties, and the one that owns the property is the one, these are big men, right? So a broker is the one that brings the buyer and say, so you want to sell your properties? This is someone that wants to buy your properties. These are some of the sacrifices that you have to make if you're willing to actually start from scratch, right? You start from selling property. You look at people like Donald Trump that have huge real estate magnates across the world today. They started with selling properties as a broker, right? You look at people that build their wealth in real estate. Mike Adenuga has about 60% of his wealth in real estate, right? So Dangote has about 70% of his wealth stocked in real estate. You look at the Dangote refinery. What would you call it? Would you call it a company or real estate? It's real estate. Because all of those things are real world assets. You can touch them and they exist on a 100 of hectares of land. So you need to even know what an acre is. You need to know what a plot is. You need to know the dimensions. You need to know what the documents are. You need to know what, and these things are easy to know, right? You need to even know what the location is like, where the people are going, what the location will be doing in the next 2 years, what the government are planning for the location. And these are informations that we'll be sharing in the community. And these are basic information that we'll also be teaching people in the boot camp before you come in. So you are not ill-prepared to what you are trying to achieve with coming in as a professional in real estate. So I think that answers that question. Okay, I think I found another question in the chat box. I think I found another question in the chat box. Okay, I think I found another question in the chat box, and it was like, are the boot camps physical or virtual? For now at LandExpress, we're running
Is the boot camp physical or true virtual meeting?
I don't know. I'm trying to understand. Is this my network or this is Ifeoluwa's network?
Yes, sir, I just read it. Is the boot camp physical or through virtual meetings?
All right, no problem. I got it. Your network was, as in, the thing is slowing down, like you're taking. So I get. So the boot camp are virtual for now. However, in the last quarter of the year, we'll be having physical boot camps. This is where we consolidate, we celebrate our wins for the year, and also bring in all our associates together at the end of the year to celebrate them and to thank them for a year well done. Also teaching them a few things that we might not have been able to cover in the boot camp over the course of the year. However, we run this boot camp once in every 3 months. We already had one for the first quarter of the year, which is ending today, right? And then the one for the second quarter would also be communicated. So you can attend virtually from anywhere across the world. But a physical bootcamp is also going to be organized later in the year.
All right.
Hello.
Good evening. Yeah.
Hello. So are you still here? Sorry, my network. Okay. Are you still here, sir?
Yeah, I'm still here. I thought Alex was saying.
My network. Sorry about that, sir.
All
Please,
right.
do we have more questions before we call it a night?
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know I was out. Can anyone hear me? Good evening. If I please confirm if I'm audible. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can. We can.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Well, I didn't know I was off or just putting the paper in the message. Yeah. Okay. I want to say thank you so much for coming. So sorry I could not really, participate and, put my work there, but I had to make an unplanned trip today. But it's so good having you. Thank you for sharing from your wealth of knowledge. I followed up through, and for me, it was really a good one. Thank you for sharing so much and for answering the questions. Also, it's good having you, William. Thank you. Just wanted to put my word out there so that you could also hear from me. It's really great having you. Thank you so much. And I was saying that I'm sure that everyone that participated would definitely have gotten to learn and pick a thing or two about real estate starting and as a basic thing. And for those that would also get to watch the replay on our YouTube channel, I'm sure they'll also definitely get to learn a lot. So thank you so much. It's great having you. Thanks for responding to our call of having you, brother. Thank you. If we're over to you now, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we are done for today. We want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for joining thank you for joining our creative series tonight. Say thank you. And I think we can close. Let us say a word of prayer. Father, we say thank you for our meeting tonight. Thank you for taking control. We say be exalted in Jesus. And Father, I pray you help us even to make use of everything we've heard tonight in the name of Jesus. You give us wisdom, you give us light and understanding as to what to do in the name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody. We'd love to see you next month. Watch out for April edition of Creative Series. Bye. You can say bye before you leave. Don't just leave. Bye. Bye, sir. Bye, everybody. Busayo, Jeremiah.
Thank you.
Opeyemi, Galaxy, Note 10. Bye. Thank you for
All
coming.
right. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.